All right, y'all. We back again. I hope this time period is starting off well for you. We have a bit of a divide on, people celebrating for April's 1st, which is the actual New Year's, and then celebrating the Gregorian calendar, which is the New Year's, January 1st. So I heard somebody say something interesting and say, oh, they say April Fools. They call it April Fools, April 1st because they fooled y'all and stuff like that. That's interesting stuff that I want to take a deeper look into. But nonetheless, man, like I said before, man, every day is the new year, man. If you here now and you know what I'm saying, you happy to be here, you thankful you here, whether you struggling or not, whether you having a hard time, whether it's a rough beginning of the year for you or whether last year was a rough year, etc. If you're thankful to be here and you're ready to get something done, it's a new year. It's a new leaf. You know what I'm saying? You could turn your potential up and you could turn your precision up, turn your focus up, and you could change this time period into a new year for you, for your existence, for your experience while you're here in this plane. This is what I'm saying. That's my energy. So, you know what I'm saying? Collectively, most people agree that New Year is January 1st, which is not our history, you know what I'm saying? The origin of the New Year is not, but for what United States, for the Gregorian calendar, for et cetera, et cetera. But my whole thing is that, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere China got a different calendar, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what year it is in China, but it's just a different year every year. Then you got, you know what I'm saying, the biblical understanding of the years. Then you got the scientific understanding of the years. We've been here for billions of years. It's a long line of history, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is that I want to show to people when I talk, because I'm not trying to venture off into all of this knowledge right now. This is more so about, a more of an interpersonal thing. But with all of this knowledge and stuff like that, just know, you know what I'm saying? It's a reason why I'm taking the approach. I'm taking the approach from the deep connections that's rooted from the origins of everything we deal with. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I have a non-grievous attitude towards things that I don't actually follow or absolutely follow and stuff like that because we all connected in one different way. And for me, to my sources and to my understanding, it all come from the motherland in some way. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying, it's information that hasn't come from the motherland and that's been, heavy, important knowledge that hasn't come from the motherland, but it came around the times that things, began to my understanding. My understanding may be limited because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I'm a young man in this time, and it's not like I sit here and I know every damn thing. I'm down to talk about a lot because it's a lot for me learning. Every time I speak and every time I listen to something new and every time I gather some information, every time I read something, I start realizing like, yo, a lot of the things that I thought weren't even necessarily true. You know what I'm saying? And I could speak on certain things and tell you I'm constantly learning. I'm like a child. I'm constantly learning. But nonetheless, that's not what none of this is about. I'm glad to show y'all that I'm glad to show y'all how connected I am and how connected we should be because we are all one in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Religion, you know what I'm saying? Race, all these different things. I'm not even gonna go deeper. We all connected in a certain different type of way, even on a percentile basis scientifically. But like I said, we're not gonna take it there. I just like to show you. I like to touch the surface with those things because it's gonna go deeper and deeper places. But we have to get the base to know where I'm at on some, on some level, understanding where I'm at mentally and spiritually. I'm not on the same wave in the same just because I see something. Oh, I'm gonna follow that. Now I like to take dig deep into everything, or a little bit, at least to get a little understanding of things. But that's not what this message is about. This message is about the fear that we have, the fear that we have to try our best, and the fear that we have of using God's given gifts. I've seen people scared to use their God given gifts, you know what I'm saying, throughout their life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to say, yo, it's time to get rid of that. Just because you ain't in church every single day, just because you ain't a perfect vessel, just because nobody's perfect, first of all. We all make mistakes. You're imperfectly perfect, as a matter of fact. But the more open you are to that idea, the more open you are to that concept, the more likely you are to start understanding things and start putting it into your life and utilizing it for some type of positivity in your life. But the more you disregard that you're perfectly imperfect, the more you behave with your lower self. You know what I'm saying? It's about yin yang and balance. It's about balance at the end of the day. So once you find out where your dark side lies and where it belongs, because you accept the knowledge to receive that, you put your dark side exactly where it belongs. And it doesn't belong outside all the time. It doesn't belong on the front of your mind. It doesn't belong it doesn't be long, it doesn't need to dwell in your existence so much to the point where it's taking over your life, where your ego is running rampant. That's what it's about for me, because I have a dark side like anybody else. See, people like to act like they don't have a dark side, but when they turn the lights off and they sleep, they dark thoughts come in before they go to bed or whatever, or when they throughout the day they have dark thoughts of anger, of negativity, of hatred, of disapproval, regret. We have all of these type of feelings, different lusts, different things we not supposed to be lusting, different things we're not supposed to be feeling. We're gonna feel that throughout the day. I'm saying embrace that. I'm not saying to do these things that are negative or do these things that you may not supposed to do, but I'm saying to embrace it on some level because it's a part of you. Why are we running from our shadow? Our shadow need love too at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole reason the goddamn shadow is there, because it ain't getting no love. The more love you show it, the smaller the shadow get. Now it's always going to be a shadow. It don't matter how much love you show it, because you're not going to be perfect. Your pain is not going to be the things that you remember in your mind, the things that you've been through is not going to be completely wiped away. I mean, I'm hearing that mushroom trips might wipe from away on a certain level. I haven't done that, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm speaking on. At the end of the day, the fear of using your God-given gifts. And the reason why people have a fear of using their God-given gifts, to my understanding, is because people have this weak-ass stigma talking about, if you do nice things and if you follow certain trends and if you behave a certain way, if you're ethical, if you have morals and etc. in your soul. You know what I'm saying? And let's knock that out the window right now. What's so soft about Martin Luther King? What's so soft about somebody that's standing up for something they're willing to die for? What's so soft about Malcolm X? What's so soft about people that stood up for the right things? There's plenty of people that's moving with light that put way more work in than anybody. Forget about if it's dark or light. It's people that move around in light, and they move like men with their head up. And they could be just as dark as any person that's out here. They have just as much darkness in them, but they have enough discipline to stifle their feelings, to stifle their emotions, to stifle whatever they feel is wrong, and then they know how to balance it out, and they come out to be this synchronized person now that can teach you, be a leader for people that are dealing with severe versions of what they're going through, or dealing with the same thing that they went through, because that's what God called them to do. All the pain that we going through, all the negativity that we go through, is all just for our navigation system, for us to create, for us to learn something, for us to create a system, and for us to help others get through the pain. That's why we go through what we go through. That's why I accept all my pain with open arms. Because I know I'm going to take all my pain. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to use methods like raw enlightenment. I'm going to use other methods that I use to get through things. I'm going to figure it out. And then I'm going to come to the servers and talk to people about it and help somebody else that's probably going through it. There's a reason why I'm out here and I'm on a healing journey, and I've healed myself, and I'm out here trying to help people heal themselves, whether it's from a physical or mental or spiritual trauma. It's a reason why I'm doing that, because I've been through physical, spiritual, and mental trauma. I've been through all these things, and guess what? I'm here to conquer it now. So I'm gonna step forth, and I'm gonna do just that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we can't be scared to use our God-given gifts. That's part of our purpose. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't find their purpose, and that's understandable, because it's a very hard thing to reach, but you can feel it. You can feel it out. If you quiet all the noise, you can start to figure out what you're trying to do, because you've been through, everybody here, I'm talking to whoever listens to this, you've been through something that nobody else ain't been through, that's probably crazy, that you probably never talk about. Whatever that is that's probably part of what you're supposed to help other people with. You know what I mean? I've seen people go through some crazy experiences and then decide to go on a venture and handle it. You know what I'm saying? Whether I can't really make an example for you right now, but nonetheless, we can't be afraid to use our God-given gifts. We can't be afraid to use our light side. There is nothing weak about using your light side in a world full of darkness that don't like the light. Let me repeat that again. There is nothing weak about using your light in a world full of darkness that don't like the light, bro. That's tough right there. Because don't nobody want to hear nothing about health. Don't nobody want to hear nothing about owning up to your responsibilities. Don't nobody want to hear nothing about being a man. Don't nobody want to hear nothing about really being a woman. Don't nobody want to hear nothing about taking accountability for life. Don't nobody want to hear nothing about, oh, yo, you know what? It's my fault. Let me fix that. Let me problem solve what I'm doing wrong. Let me fix that. Let me look in the mirror. Let me change that. Let me do this mirror work. Don't nobody want to hear about that. Everybody want to hear about their vices. Everybody want to hear about escaping that stuff. Everybody want to hear about escaping the darkness. Nobody wants to talk about walking through the darkness. When you're light and you're being light and you're walking through the darkness, you're going right to it. You're not trying to escape it. You're not trying to go around it. You're not trying to just be a part of something because the world has conformed to it. It take a lot of guts to go out there and do that. So for that misconception of that being a figure of light is weak is a big lie. It's another one that gotta go out the window, man. I'm taking that one out the window. That one gotta go. It's a big lie. And a lot of people that can be great light figures are not being light figures, and they letting darkness take them over because they feel like they showing signs of weakness if they show more light. That gotta go. It's a lie. This world needs more light. Who wanna be the stand-up dude to come bring more light to the world? Who want to be the stand-up woman to bring more light to the world? I see a lot of people doing it. We need more people doing it now because I'm tired of this darkness, bro. And I'm not here to eradicate darkness because darkness is always going to be here. Like I said, your shadow always going to be here, but it's levels to how much you let your shadow exist in your life. I'm not letting my shadow take over my life. The moments I feel depression, the moments I feel sad, the moments I feel like giving up. If I let that take over my life, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen some people really, really waste, not necessarily waste, because we all go through what we go through for a reason. The Most High may know better than us, and our general existence, the Most High is gonna know better than us why we're going through what we're going through. But I've seen, to my understanding, people waste that potential and that fear. And I literally have a literal example. I have somebody that I knew that's done some dark things, and they ended up paying their dues for the dark things. When I say paying their dues, I'm saying they did jail time. So that way y'all know I'm not snitching when I talk about some of the things that was done, because jail time was done because of it. So now we got a person that that at nighttime they would do evil things. They would rob, they would they would assault, they would sell drugs. They would do all types of evil things at nighttime. But in the morning time, they would literally take some of the money they had, give it to poor people. They would literally wake up in the morning and send lovely messages to people, telling them that God is here, that things get better. Meanwhile, they going through hell. They are going through hell. They did some devilish things last night. They still feel a need to be a messenger of God in some way. They just don't know how to be proud about it. They don't know how to step forth and do it and put it on their sleeves like I'm starting to do. They don't know how to do that because out here, as soon as you do it, you get ostracized. Oh, you're weak. Oh, you believe in God. Oh, you following a path that Christ has given you. Oh, you following this or whatever religion that you stand by. I don't stand with no religion specifically, but the breakdown I have for when it comes down to the religion is very sophisticated. I'll start off by telling you this. In the Bible, the word religion is only in the New Testament 3 times. So I think the word religion got taken out of context. But hey, that's another conversation for us to have because I get deep when it comes down to those things. Because I do have a bit of a decent understanding biblically. I'm still a babe, or you would say that I'm still on milk biblically, which means I'm still a baby biblically. But my understanding of the milk that I have to the understanding biblically could definitely venture off a totally new understanding, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to things like parables, like metaphors, and when it comes to things like similitudes and etc. You start to learn new things. But I'm not gonna get into that right now because I want to take it step by step with y'all. I'm talking about the fear of being your best self right now, the fear of following your purpose, the fear of using your God-given gifts. Don't do good things and good deeds and not remind yourself that these are the things that you're supposed to be doing. These are the things you're supposed to spend your time doing. You're not supposed to spend, and I'm not saying to go out there and go give yourself away, but these are the things that should have your life a little more occupied, is doing good deeds and doing things that would be you could be happy about. You could talk to your mother about. You could talk to your grandmother about. You could talk to your family about. You could talk to little kids about. If you could talk to little kids about what you did through most of your day, if you could talk to parents and you could talk to elderly people that you respect about things you did throughout the day for most of your day, then that means you're doing some of the right things. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all I got to say, man. Don't let conforming to this world not let you use any of your light or any of your God-given gifts at all. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with tapping in and letting yourself be used to do things amazing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the more and more you do things, the more and more you're gonna surprise yourself, the more motivation is gonna come to you, and the more you're gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're important, you mean something. Even if other people are not telling you you're important, you're gonna know your existence is important because you know you're following a path that was given to you that wasn't so easy to take. That's really all I got to say right now. You know what I mean? Peace. I hope everybody that follows this the January 1st is the new year begins right now. Everybody that's following April being the new year's, I hope that y'all plans is set up, preparated, so that way that cycle that is spring will be New Year's for you starts off right. It's simple, man. Let's be connected. I'm not trying to cause no division in nothing I say. And people's gonna notice that after a while, as I break things down and I start talking about more and more topics, and it gets deeper and deeper with this raw enlightenment, it's gonna show you that it's a collective connection that I have that's gonna help others embrace things that was more difficult for them to embrace, which makes me a champion.